All right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. Today, count them, two. Let's see. Here we go. Yep. Okay, we're good. We're good. Count them, 1980s oolongs. Now, looking at them, actually, I think they're not Taiwanese oolongs. I picked them up and I get them from my Taiwanese supplier. Now, I'm very, 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 very extraordinarily careful when it comes to aged teas, right? I have had the fake teas and the authentic teas. And the problem with the fake teas is they use horrible chemicals and do terrible things to them. And they can actually make you really sick, the fake aged teas. And so I'm very, very careful about where I get aged teas. I either get them from like people that I know that have aged teas, or I get them from where I get sort of a lot of the variation of the teas. I get them from a supplier that does a lot of pu'er, a lot of aged pu'ers. They're very, very famous. And if they gave me something fake, it would really suck for them, right? It would really suck for them. They're famous enough that there would be a big issue. And I'm looking at these two teas that I've got here. One is, they're both 1980, which is the same year I was born in, which is amazing. This is the thing that I'm going to drink them both. But one is an Anshi Tieguanin, and the other one is a Wui Shuixian, and called Narcissus, Wui Narcissus Shuixian. So my guess is these are actually Chinese teas. Because I didn't really look at the first letters. So the first letters, the first two characters of both of these denote the area where they're from. But anyways, that's okay. 1980 teas. It's very, very, very possible that I'm going to get very, very, very tea drunk with these teas. I just literally opened them up. I have no idea what they taste like, but it is a possibility that I may get a little tea drunk with these teas. And this does smell like a Chinese tea, like a tea from the Chinese mainland. Let's stick our nose in the. This is the Tieguanin over here. They do absolutely smell like Chinese teas. So they've got that strength. I want to say harshness, but I don't think that's fair, right? I don't think that's fair. Not all Chinese teas are harsh, but in general, there is sort of a Chinese tea-ness to them. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get the right amount here. And my scale is not working for me right now. But I'm actually quite looking forward to drinking some of these, to testing them out. Because if they're good, yeah, it looks like my scale has got an issue for some strange reason. Because if they're good, my guess is the battery. The battery's just not going. That's okay. Here we go. You ready? We'll do this much. Because teas like this, and especially from this spot, if the teas are good, they are extraordinarily rare. Now, why do I have these teas? I got these teas. I have these teas because oh, look at that. So this is the Tieguanin here. And you can see the Tieguanin from 1980 sort of looks like this. And then this is the Wui Shuixian, and it sort of looks like this. Now, when you're looking at aged teas and you're evaluating the aged teas, you have to remember that in the 1980s, especially if this is from China, they are going to be doing everything by hand. So when you see the teas, you're going to see stuff like this, right? Really small, really delicate types of twisting. And you'll see stuff like this as well. Now, machines can't do this. Now, this is hard to see. You know, it's hard to see. But machines can't do this. Only by hand can you make sort of teas like this. And, you know, this is an aged tea. I don't know where these teas are from, so I'm going to wash them first. and I'm going to stick them, stick my nose in there and see how good they are, what the smell is like. Now, I mentioned it before that these aged teas, when I'm getting these aged teas in, I really enjoy getting in really, really good aged teas, because a lot of the times people in general, people all over the world, it's really hard to get your hands on something like this. These are, if they're authentic, and I have no doubt that these ones are, they are so hard to get your hands on, and they're expensive, and they're usually only sold in bulk, and they're usually only sold to people who has special connections. So they're the back shelf teas. They're the teas in the shelf in the back. They're the ones that you would only bring out if people actually, like in a tea shop, if somebody actually trusted you, like truly trusted you, then they would bring out these teas and things like that. And that is, that's really hard to find. But if I can get them in and offer them, they're not cheap, and I don't claim that they're cheap, but they are authentic, right? I don't know what's going on. I'm knocking things down. Usually I don't have so much stuff on the table. Usually I don't have so much stuff on the table. Anyways, here we go. Let's smell this one here. This smells expensive. Wow. So what's written here is two things. Wow. I'm looking forward to trying this tea. So what's written here is two things. It says 1980, and then it says Wu Yi, and then it says Shui Xian. And so what that means is here you've got, my guess is the place. I didn't ask for clarification. Actually, the people, the woman who she just had a baby. And so I bought a bunch of the 1970s Oolong and some of the 1982 Dongding. And I saw this, that they had some of these, and I asked for samples. So I didn't ask too many questions. She just had a baby. I'm not going to be pushing and being like, but the Chinese is Wu Yi and then Shui Xian. So my guess is Wu Yi is the place, and the Shui Xian is the cultivar. But, and this is a big but, there is an extra word in English, and the name that is in English is Narcissus, which is, of course, a kind of flower and a certain kind of floral note. And when I stuck my nose in here after the wash, when I stuck my nose in here, I could smell Narcissus. I could smell the flower. I could smell it, which is, I mean, come on, let's face it. That is from a tea that's from the 1980s, or from 1980, anyways, where it's claimed. That smells like money. that smells like money. And this with the first sort of steep here, it's still there. It's a little bit off. There's a little bit sort of more, I want to say barbecue, but sort of a meaty, aged, meaty, barbecue-y type of smell that's coming off of that. Anyways, let's give this a try. Now this is just the first steep. Wow. Wow. That's something special. Now, maybe it's because I don't drink a lot of Chinese teas. I very, very, very rarely drink Chinese teas. But the experience of drinking that tea, just sticking it in my mouth and drinking it, the upfront was an old tea. What is the taste of old teas? Bookcase, leather, stuff like that. You, if you've had aged teas, you sort of know. But the clarity and the saliva that was created at the sides of my mouth, and then the flavor of Narcissus. I don't know whether I'm actually picking it right. I think I know the flower. I think I know it, but I can't pick it right off the top of my head. I'm not a flower expert. but I'm getting early spring, flowing water, subtle floral notes, and it ran down the side of my mouth. It ran down the side of my mouth just like that. I went, like that's something else. Now I was going to drink these two together and sort of put them side by side and compare them, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to drink one, then I'm going to drink the other. And let's see if it happens again. Yes, but not quite as strong. Yes, but not quite as strong. Now, I am, would I say I'm an expert with aged teas? Yes, I guess. Taiwanese aged teas, yes. I'm one of the few people in the world that have had authentic 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old pour. I don't reach for aged teas very often, right? I don't go and search them out very often. But I've had many, many different kinds from many, many different places. And most of the time, the old teas that you get are pretty crappy, right? I don't know if you remember, well, I told a story once on a live stream about, I went to go in Taoyuan, and they had some tea that was about 50 years old. I was really quite excited. And I tried it, but the only thing that I could taste was the smoke from incense smoke, because it had obviously been shunted up to the top shelf somewhere. And every day there was somebody who lit incense, the smoke went up and just went into the tea. It was terrible. So finding really, really good, 43-year-old tea is amazing. Like, it really is. It's a rare experience. And now we'll see what happens with the second steep here. But no matter what the price is, I'm probably going to have to get some of this. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Now the chachi coming off of this tea is not blowing me away. It's not super special. Me and my family were packing the 1970s Oolong yesterday, and so everybody got to try a little bit. And my two boys, who are 11 and 9 now, they just got hammered. They got so tea drunk off of that tea. And I'm not feeling the same sort of tea drunkenness coming off of this. A little bit, but not quite as extreme as the 1970s Oolong. Now the name Narcissus, right, is, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to find the flower. Chances are I've seen the flower before, and I know what the smell is. But just off the top of my head, I'm not. Actually, I got my computer open right here. Why don't I just do this right now? Narcissus. Oh, really? Like a daffodil? Oh. Okay. Well, really? So Narcissus is just like a daffodil. Well, anyways, that's what Google is telling me out of my first. Here, why don't we do Narcissus flower? It's just telling me about. I guess it's daffodil, eh? Isn't that interesting? So, what I got, right, when I first drank this tea was that. What I got when I first drank the tea was that sort of spring flavor, right? So, that's fascinating? That's absolutely fascinating. So the name works. the name works. Now, obviously, the flower, the smell of a daffodil is really, really strong. The floral on this is not that strong, but it is absolutely there. It is absolutely there. And I can feel the ghosts of spring past. This is an absolutely exceptional tea. This is an absolutely exceptional tea. And here I am drinking it with my, my like $2 guy one, with a mismatched top. Um, this deserves sort of laid out beautiful things. I don't know, maybe the white, the dry ice and the ball rolling. I don't know, maybe even that much, but it certainly deserves a lot more respect and a lot more care than I'm giving it right now. But boy, being able to drink something like this is really a treat. But I'll have to keep my Taiwanese chauvinism in check because I've never had an aged Taiwanese oolong that's anywhere near this. Wow. Oh, yeah. I'm going to set this one just aside for now, and I'm going to move on to the other tea right here, because I'm afraid that, like, I've already opened this one up. I've already got it wet, and so I really do have to drink it because I know for a fact, and I'm already starting to feel the energy coming off of this tea. This is a contemplative tea. This is a philosophic tea. This is a tea where the qi is going to sort of uplift you, but also give you energy, calm you down all at the same time. All of these things are going to be happening at the same time with this tea. And I just kind of want to spend the rest of my day putting hot water on those 43-year-old tea leaves. So I'm gonna have to set it aside, or else I'm gonna get lost in that. And we'll go over here to the Anchi Tia Guanyin. We're gonna go over here to the Anchi Tia Guanyin, and we are gonna do it because I gotta evaluate both of them at the same time. But I already know that I'm buying some of that HT right there, and it will be for sale on the site eventually, because I would love to share that tea with people. But my guess is it's not going to be cheap. My guess is it is not going to be a cheap tea. My guess is it would be, I don't know, $1 a gram maybe, something like that. But wow. All right, let's shift. I don't particularly want to, but like I said, I got this one wet, so I got to drink it. And, who knows? Maybe this one's even better. Now, this Tia Guanyin is really good as well. So I really should have done one at a time. And I can already sort of feel myself, I guess I can feel myself getting a little tea drunk here. But what I'm getting off the nose here, obviously aged tea, but there's a warm apricot-y type of fruit flavor, but deeply, deeply warm and lingering and all of that type of stuff. So here we go. Let's try this one out. Now, with both of these teas, I'm absolutely amazed at the clarity of the teas. These teas are not, they're aged teas, but they are not, oh wow, all the things that are going on. We'll talk about that in a second. They're aged teas. These are 43-year-old teas, but these are not overpowering with their age flavor, right? Again, the litmus test, the 1970s oolong, you drink it and you're like, that's aged tea. That's old. And you drink it more for the feeling, right? So those really old types of teas, you're drinking that more for the feeling than you are for the taste. And it's a very rare tea, especially when you reach over about 20 years, where you get both flavor and the feeling being top of the line. Now, I'm talking about oolongs. I'm not talking about pours. Pours are different, right? I'm not an expert on pours, but with oolongs, that's kind of the way. And this one, again, the one that I was drinking earlier, that's got both of them. Now, this one I'm trying to evaluate. And what's really striking me is the lack of the age taste. I'm not licking an old bookcase, like that's not what I'm doing right now when I'm drinking this tea. I'm not drinking 40-year-old smoke, right? Which oftentimes you get from some of maybe the Dongding oolongs and things like this. Dare I say freshness? There is a freshness to it, right? There is a clarity and a clearness in the taste, and quite a unique sort of almost like tingling of the mouth with this one. A little bit of a drying nature to it as well. The soul of Tieguanin. Now we'll see what happens with the second steep here. Okay, I'm going to see what happens with the second steep. Now the first steep, I'm getting all of those things, but I'm not really getting the same. I'm not getting that apricot note that I got on my nose when I stuck my nose in there. But we'll see what happens with the second steep. Now, what's the chi with this one? We'll see what happens after the second. But I can already feel myself. I don't know if you can sort of notice that there's a burping a little bit, right, and it's a little bit more uplifting. Whereas this one was sort of meditative, sort of knocked me back, but also gave me energy. And it's like I just want to talk philosophy all day. This one is again. We'll see what happens with the second steep as I drink more of it. But it clashes a little bit. It does clash a little bit with with this 1980 Wu Narcissus aged tea right here. It does conflict a little bit. It's more uplifting, a little bit more energy giving. But we won't really know until I drink all of this. Now, I said it before with this tea, and I'll say it again, this is not the way I should be drinking these teas. I should be giving them a lot more respect. A lot more respect, right? Both of these samples, they're extraordinarily generous samples. They're 15 grams each. And so, they're just amazingly generous samples. And, so I'm going to be drinking these again. The apricot notes have gotten a little bit more florally, and also in there's sort of a leather wood way in the back on the nose there. But obviously very old tea. Now, when you're drinking these types of teas, you really should be giving them a lot more. You shouldn't be talking to your cell phone when you're drinking these types of teas. You should be with friends or by yourself, creating a space for them. And I do this because, this is sort of, even after all these years living in Hualien, being sort of this tea guy, I don't have all that many people to drink tea with. And I'm sure most of the people watching this are the same. And so I don't feel too bad about doing it because I get to share it, and people can sort of see my reactions and sort of think about it themselves. And so it's not too bad. I'm not feeling too bad about it. But these types of teas, absolutely 100%, you should be giving them space for you to really and truly enjoy them. Now, this is a nice tea in its own right, but I can tell right away that it's not quite as clean. And it's also the chi, what it's doing is it's pushing me to be more like this, right? I'm not the biggest fan of this type of chi or energy or whatever you want to do it. There's lots of ways to talk about that stuff. But this is sort of a very active tea, an active chi, an active way of sort of expressing itself. The flavors that I mentioned on the nose are here, but they're not quite as special in the sort of, they're not making it from the leaves into the broth, into the brew, unfortunately, as much as I would have liked them to. And so I'm sort of saying things in a slightly negative way, but I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying this is a bad tea, right? Just compared to this one, it's like, this is like out of 10, this is like a 200, and out of 10, this is like 8.5, 9. Right? So that's that's what's going on with this, and yes, the third steep, more of the same, nothing too special. I'm actually gonna stick it over here. What I'm gonna do is I guess I'm gonna get really, really tea drunk today. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill this up with the tea leaves, and I'm gonna let it sit, add hot water to it, and I'm really gonna know what happens with this tea. Like, I'm really gonna know, and leave that aside. And I am going to jump back in, and I'm going to jump back into this tea because I can feel it calling me, and I just want more. So this is 100% going to be on the site. I don't know how much it is, but I'm going to buy it. And it's the 1980 Wui Shuixian. In English, it's Wui Narcissus Shuixian Oolong, and this is going to be on the site. Unless something drastic happens with this steep. But I do not believe that will be the case. But I'm warning you, right? And I'm warning myself, right? This is going to be, I'm just going to write her a message and be like, I would like, however much I decide to buy, but I'm not going to ask the price. And then I'm just going to send the money. And that's just what I'm going to do, because if you get access to a tea like this, right? If you get access to a tea like this, you just buy it. Which reminds me, the Nanhu Eastern Beauty, if it got made this year, should be for sale soon. So that reminds me, I gotta ask my buddy. I gotta be like, this year you're gonna hook me up? You hooking me up this year? Because last year the weather wasn't good enough to produce that tea, but this year the weather was good enough. I think. Again, I don't know exactly, but I think it was good enough. So I got to get in touch with them. And again, I'm not a fan of aged teas, but I am a fan of objective greatness, right? Even if I don't like it, I acknowledge that it is great. And this is a great tea. Wow. And I mentioned it, sort of the chi of this tea over here is like, it's getting me going. And then all I do is I stick my nose in here. And I did it not even purposefully, but I actually breathe through both my mouth and my nose, like trying to get in as much as I could of this tea. It's blowing my mind, absolutely blowing my mind. Wow. Anyways, yes, this tea is going to be bought. This tea is absolutely going to be bought, and it is going to be my special occasion tea. And I will give the rest of my 15-gram sample the respect it deserves. And I will also be putting this on the website, assuming that it's still there when I get it. But wow. That's just an amazing tea. Anyways, that's about it for now. If anybody out there has any questions about anything, let me know. I was gonna show you. I'll do it briefly now. Let me get it. It's kind of fun. I'll show you right now. But I'll do a live stream one of these days as well, where I can show you. I'll probably do a picture in the feed. I haven't done anything in the feed for Instagram for quite some time. But check this out. Check this out. See these? So next subscription box, everybody is going to get a little piece of jade. So this is just fun, right? So a little piece of jade, and all of these are like little smaller pieces. If you put them in the sun, it goes right through. But everybody who orders a next month's subscription box, you're gonna get a little thing of jade in it. A beautiful piece of Taiwanese jade, sustainably sourced from the river by my family and I. But that's definitely going to be happening. Next subscription box, and it'll be filled with. I finally finished up the house roast Mare's Alishan Oolong. So there'll be 10 grams of the light roast and the mid roast, and I want to hear what people like better, so I know what I can do for the rest of the tea. And there will be a blind tasting of the Jade Fall and the Pear Mountain Fall. And looks like they're doing some stuff behind me here. So that seems about right. So last chance for questions about anything out there. To recap, I am blissfully tea drunk with this 1980s or 1980. Again, I guess I should just say 1980s, because who knows, right? The provenance of these things, you can't actually know, but it's pretty authentic. Of this Shui Xian Oolong. And as soon as this is over, I'm going to send a message and buy some. Anyways, thank you for watching. Wherever in the world you happen to be, I certainly hope you have an amazing morning, evening, night, and all of that. This is live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you want to watch it back again, you can watch it there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.